Welcome to a special edition of the Postgame Show. This is the Championship Week Postgame Show and All-Star Preview. You know, we love an All-Star game here at Legacy Leagues. And I'm just going to get it started because I know everyone at home doesn't want to hear me do a stupid intro about Legacy and yada, yada, yada. Yaggaville took down Rudzinski in our Winter 24 chip, 92-85. There is a lot to say about this game. It was an incredible game. It was a close one. I want to give a congratulations quick to Yaggaville on a huge championship, and especially Mike Davis on his 6th. Run TMC, great year as well. But I'm going to kick it over to Chris, and I don't even know what to say. Just, Lord help us all. Go ahead.
Say a prayer, Greg. So I'm going to get right into it. There was a lot of chatter about me I guess I was running my mouth too much about Run TMC. Reggie actually hit me up a couple times and said I don't learn and this and that, but exactly what I said happened. Run TMC lost. We're smoking on double Run TMC packs. Just 2 of them. Reggie, in the words of you, eat a crow. Just going to put that out there. Eat a crow. Greg, eat a crow. Connor, eat a crow. Flint, eat a crow. All season, all we heard, Flint's going to win the championship, blah, blah, blah. All season. Then we go to the finals. Run TMC is there. I said they had no chance. Look what happened. They had no chance. All we saw was this. Victory Royale. Greg knows. But that's really all I got to say right now. I mean, we'll get more into the game after, but I'll pass it to Greg. Check rock.
Yep, check rock. All right, Connor, give us the breakdown. What'd you see in this one?
It was a great game. I'm gonna let Chris and you guys can kind of talk about the heavy hitters in this game. Obviously, Jelly wins Finals MVP with 31 points, 8 rebounds. Mike Davis was really good. Mike and Reggie had a great back and forth throughout like the third, fourth quarter of that game. I love seeing those two guys go head to head. And when they're talking shit on the basketball court, it's all about the game, right? It never gets personal. It never gets bringing stuff off the court. It's just all about the game. And then after the game, to see them smiling, dapping up, showing nothing but love for each other. We said game respects game, and I just love seeing those two legends go head to head. Greg, me and you, I actually liked watching this game. It's one of the rare opportunities Greg and I were actually able to sit right next to each other and kind of trade commentary back and forth. Usually me and Greg are always on different sides of the court, so that was fun. A moment in this game I kind of wanted to talk about, a little underrated moment I think will be overlooked by some of the flashy stats from the big scores in this game, but it was about halfway through the third quarter, and Yaggaville had been experimenting with some weird subs off their bench. They didn't really bring Randy or Jason in to like the start of the second half when it was still a very close game. But like halfway through the third quarter, I think Yaggaville was down by 4 points, and Jabril Chisholm came into the game. And Chris kind of knows the role that Jabril plays on this team. You're on a stacked roster. There's not going to be a ton of minutes available for you, especially in closely competitive games against the league's best opponents. And he came in and down 4 in the championship game. I thought that was I didn't want to say it was a bad decision, but I was kind of seeing like, let's see how this plays out. And I said to Greg right when he came in, I said, hey, listen, Run TMC might just kind of forget about Brill, and he might get out into the open court. And I think if we've all been watching Brill for a while, he's not really a threat on the offensive end in a half court set, but he is sneaky fast and a sneaky good dunker. And literally 10 seconds after he gets into the game, Yaggaville gets a stop on defense. Dave Armstrong gets the rebound, throws a Tom Brady down the court to none other than Jabril Chisholm, who's sitting right there. I know Chris is laughing at the Tom Brady reference. I did that for him. But yeah, Jabril's sitting down there wide open. No one's even paying attention to him. Gets an easy cherry-picked basket. And like I said, Jabril's one of those sneaky good dunkers. And you watch him in the open court, he actually gets up. But he didn't get fancy with it. He didn't take the dunk. He went up off the glass, finger roll layup. He's thinking to himself, I'm not going to screw this up for my team. I'm only going to be out here for a few minutes. Cuts the game to within 2. Next possession, they give it to Jabril in a half-court set. He takes it to the hole. Nobody was ready for that. He gets fouled hard. He goes down to the ground in a heap. Like, it was a really hard foul. And we all know Jabril in the old days. He was a very, quick-tempered player. he might have gotten up and started talking shit to the refs or talking shit to the other team. Maybe he would have lost his mind. But the maturity of Jabril, gets up, cools a cucumber, doesn't say a word, goes to the free throw line, knocks down 2 free throws. Looked like a 90% free throw shooter with the level of poise that he hit those 2 shots. Nothing but net on both of them. And within a minute or two later, he was checked out of the game. But he tied up the game in a 4-point spurt, which I just thought was a really cool moment for him. A 4-time champion now with this one under his belt. And it's moments like that where, Run TMC is up a couple possessions, and Jabril Chisholm, of all people, comes in off the bench and ties up the game, and then, quickly comes out and lets the guys come in, and then obviously Yaggaville is able to close it out in the fourth quarter. But in tight games like this, that was decided by 7 points, 4 points from Jabril Chisholm in that moment, just coming in and giving them a quick little spark off the bench. I know Chris, like I said, he kind of has played that role with these guys, where you're going to come in, you're only going to play a few minutes, you want to make each one of them count. And I thought that was a really good moment, and one that will be overlooked at the end of this game. But just overall, watching these two teams compete head to head, it was so much fun. It might look like Yaggaville kind of won with some ease, 7 points. We set the spread. I set the spread 6.5 points. So I'm eating some crow, but not on that. That line I set was on the money. 7-point win on a 6.5 point spread. I know Joey was taking Run TMC plus the points, so Joey, cough up the cash, my man. Um, but yeah, we got to witness some great players go head to head, and just overall a great finish to a great season.
Yeah, no, it was an incredible game. Chris, kick it back to you.
I
What do
just
you
want to
want?
go, speaking of
Hit
the
me
great
what?
players. I mean, in this league, obviously, over the years, we saw, I mean, we got Reggie versus Mike in the finals again. Probably the two best players, at least. I mean, I don't know much about the other leagues, but I would say the two
Yeah.
best players in this Connecticut League's history.
Mount
They're
Rushmore.
yeah, they're not 2000. The only, I think they're the only 2,000 point scorers, unless what's his name, Cody Crawford got it probably more recently. But I know Reggie and Mike was the first one, and then I think Reggie got it last season. Um, you just think about the amount of championship pedigree on, especially on this Yaggaville team. I think Pratt's got 4 now. I think Eric Langton's got 4. I think Jabril's got 4. Dave's got 3. Mike's got 6. I mean, on the other side, Reggie's got 3. So there's a lot of championship like
Yeah.
experience in this game. As you saw, I mean, Reggie was hitting a ton of threes. I mean, I think we should go into two. Jelly was shooting lights out. Um, like you said,
Mm.
the banter back and forth between Mike and Reggie. I mean, I don't know how we got to this point again, but it was Mike versus Reggie in the finals. It seems like it's been that a lot lately. Um, or at least obviously one of them has been in the championship pretty much every season since I think when the Chasers won. Um, so what's that, 4 or 5 straight finals that it's been Mike or Reggie?
Wow. That's crazy to
Well, I
think
guess
about. Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
take out, I mean, Mike's
Wow.
team was there one of the years, but not him.
True. Yeah. Good point.
But
Actually, good point.
just it takes into account. I mean, that's probably the last time we're going to see this matchup in Legacy League's history because I really do think Mike is done now. I don't think he's got anything else left for this league. I think he knows it. I think as you've seen in the last 2 championships, he's kind of passed the torch to other guys where Kyle Davis won Finals MVP and Jelly won MVP this time. Um, so I think Mike kind of knows that. I mean, like you said, what else does he? There's really nothing else to do. I just want to talk about yeah. Look at it. His stats speak for themselves. Um,
Yeah, I mean, just quickly. I mean, if this is his last time you see it, just for the people at home, pause the video and just look at the screen. I
look at
mean,
his
Joey updated
paragraph.
it. Hard to find a better resume.
He's got more accolades than some people have wins in this league. I would say, for the most part.
I think he has as many accolades as I made 3 pointers one season
Probably
I
he
played. I'm
probably
not even
does.
kidding.
So 6-time champion, it speaks for itself. What did he win? 2 MVPs. Probably you could argue that he could have won more, but he was on more stacked teams later in his career, so he kind of got more overlooked. But Mike, in a championship game, you're going to get 20 points out of Mike. Reggie's going to go high 20s, 30s. You pretty much knew what you were going to get as as you know, I've been on a couple ends of these against TMC with Shocker City. Yeah, but once again, stop me if you heard this before. Mike and Pratt have beat Run TMC in the championship. I don't know how many times we've seen it. What's it been? Three now. So Reggie's now 0-3 in the finals against Mike. I know he beat him once. He'll get on me if I don't bring this up. He thinks I was on the team, which I wasn't. He beat the serial killers that had Mike and Pratt that I think went to like 4 games. I don't think he really cared about that team as much. But I think he scored like 47 points against them in the semifinals. So I'm going to bring that up because he'll get mad at me if I don't. But I was not on that team. Just going to put that out there. He thinks I was, but I was not on that team. I was losing games with Greg that season. We actually, fun fact, we actually lost to Mike
Underrated.
Davis in the first round that season, and we played with 3 players because Greg didn't show up. A couple people didn't show up. I was guarding
Yep.
Mike because the game plan that game. I was like, look, if we're gonna guard anybody, we should keep somebody on Mike and worry about everybody else. Not that it did any good, but um,
Yeah, no, I mean that's what
we
Mike
should
does, right?
clip.
I mean,
I have a video
he
of
can
me
take
hitting a
over.
shot in Mike's face in that game. We should clip that in right here so we could. But yeah,
But I mean,
I
that's
agree.
what Mike
But
does, though.
I think another successful Legacy League season. I wish we could have got full teams in the semifinals, but it's an adult rec league where if you have stuff going on outside, you're not gonna skip that to go to a game. Um, but I mean, I don't think. Well, besides Tyrant, I think minimal injuries. Nobody, you know what I mean. Everybody was going home safe every night. I'd say it's a success. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. I don't, like I said, I don't know how we got to this Yaggaville Run TMC finals, but it's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I just want to give a shout out. Yeah, Connor, go
Yeah,
ahead.
real quick. I just want to talk about some other quick little points that happened during that game. Obviously, TJ Killings went out early, and he was on fire early, and I kind of missed it. I guess he got fouled like at the end of the first quarter. Well, it wasn't called a foul. He in his mind he got fouled, um, and he got ejected, which was unfortunate. And I thought that was gonna sway the momentum back towards Run TMC, and it definitely did. Run TMC was able to capitalize. They got 4 free throws out of that situation, and then kind of took the lead and held it for a long time afterwards. But that was a huge loss for Yaggaville. He's obviously a dynamic player, and he was off to a good start. So that was definitely something that I thought changed some of the momentum early. Um, I forget. I don't know who it is, but Reggie has this woman who shows up pretty much for all of his games. She's always like a part of the game in the stands, and her and Eric Langston going back and forth was absolutely hysterical. I love that dynamic as well. And it was funny because obviously Eric was playing with Reggie last year, and she was one of Eric's biggest supporters. And then it was just funny seeing them go head to head. I love when the fans get involved, and for Legacy League standards, the benches were pretty much packed on the sidelines there watching the game. So that was awesome. Um, Another big moment of this game was I thought Pratt was starting to get active. Right, we talked earlier in the season how some of these games Pratt's been a little bit quiet, and we want to see that energy out of Pratt, and Pratt definitely got engaged into this game. Him and Reggie were barking back and forth. Once again, all love though at the end of the game. You love to see that between those guys, two competitors, two of my former All Stars who were carrying my All Star game that one night, and unfortunately we came up short. But I love seeing Reggie and Pratt out there going back and forth. Um, and a couple other things. I thought Eric Singleton, we talked a little bit about this before the pod, an underrated, underappreciated player. And Eric's kind of experienced the peaks and valleys of the appreciation levels in this league. When he was on some of I think I forget which team it was. Was it Blood, Sweat, and Beers or
It was
something?
after Blood, Sweat, and Beers. It was like Invincibles or something. What was their
Yeah,
team name?
he was
Replacement.
just like a single man powerhouse on that team, just literally putting his team on his back every week and putting up ridiculous stat lines. I think No Limit picked him up for a season too, right? They saw what he was
Yep.
doing. He was on No Limit for a little bit, but he's gone from the alpha dog to now he's like the second fiddle to Reggie Stewart in recent years, and man, if you're talking about a second fiddle, that's a nice second fiddle to have in Eric Singleton. He's been just really just quietly productive, 20 points, 4 rebounds, and he had an unbelievable steal right at the end of the third quarter. He picked Jelly's pocket clean and went all the way down and got a tough layup literally right at the buzzer, which gave TMC like a 2 possession lead. So now you're thinking like run TMC going into the fourth with like a 5-6 point lead, I think it was. That was just a big turn of momentum. I thought that Run TMC might have been able to ride till a win, but Yaggaville, man, they knew what was going on fourth quarter. I think this has been the storyline. I think as long as Chris has been playing with these guys as well, it feels like whenever their backs are against the wall, you get the best out of this team, right? They're not the best when they're playing up, right? I feel like they kind of get lackadaisical. I think this was like the best thing for them was to kind of be down, not down by a lot, but down nonetheless. And going into the fourth quarter, everybody locked in. Dave Armstrong, quiet night on the stats for Dave, but we talk about all the time with Dave. It's not about the stats. It's just about his presence out there. He was doing his thing, just patrolling on that low block, and um, yeah, they didn't get a lot from their bench in general, but they got enough to get the win. More so than Run TMC did. I mean, I wanted to see a little bit more from Miles Raymond. This is a kid who scored a 50 ball in this league before. He had a night earlier this season where he shot 100%. I forgot he scored like 40 or something, 40 something points. 3 of 8 shooting, 6 points. I know Miles is way better than that, and it's just credit to him and what he's capable of. I thought he could have had a better performance, but he's a great player, so we'll see if he bounces back. I'm sure he'll be back next season. And Will Hudson, I want to see a little bit more out of Will too. He hit 3 threes, but I think he hurt himself. He was on the bench holding his leg, so that was something to pay attention to. Chad was pretty solid with 15 points, and I think all of 15 points were all dunks, and then he had a free throw on an and one. So that's just what Chad does. If Chad can just implement like a little post hook into his game, man, he would be unstoppable. He gets all of his points on dunks, and damn well he gets a lot of dunks. But if he can just add a little bit more versatility to his offensive game, he's pretty much already unstoppable down there as it is. But that would just take him to a whole new tier. I think Greg was talking like we were comparing him to Kevon Turnbull from seasons past, and maybe that's like his upside if he can just get a little bit more versatile with his offensive package. But yeah, Reggie Westbrook, right? 36 points, 7 rebounds, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Did everything he can, but he just ran out of gas. I think it was literally right around the 5 minute mark. Mike hit a three, Reggie hit a three, Mike hit a three, Reggie hit a three, then Mike hit like another three, and Jelly hit another three, and then at that point it was like a 6 point game. Reggie ran out of gas, and there was this little thing they were talking about. Reggie was yelling at Mike to stop calling for picks and stop calling for screens, and then Mike goes, "You get a screen every shot. Every time you call Chad McCoy up to the high point, you always get a screen for an open look." So I thought that was funny, which is true, right? Everybody uses the screens to get open in this league. But yeah, Reggie just ran out of gas, and I don't take any credit away from him. He was doing everything he can to keep this team in the game. The tough shots he was making, right, Greg? The angles that we were seeing from that sideline, the mid-air adjustments, the double clutch on the hezzies, the sidestep threes over contested hands. It was just we were seeing it all from Reggie, and just want to give him his love. He deserves it. Kid's an unbelievable player, multi-time champion. If it's not for Mike Davis, he's probably the best player we've seen in legacy leagues. But Chris, I know, Chris. You got your upper hand on Reggie when you're in your head-to-heads, but we still got
I
to give
mean,
him love.
I respect what you're saying about Reggie. He's a great player, but this isn't about Reggie right now. They lost the finals.
It's not, but
No, we don't.
we
He
got it. We
lost.
still got to
It's
give him
over.
love.
We don't have to. We give him love next season when he's going for going to lose another finals.
Hey, Chris, you said last post game that if Reggie won this game, he
Well,
enters the
guess
GOAT
what? He didn't win the
conversation.
game,
So,
so he doesn't
you
enter the
know,
GOAT
he didn't win the game. Mike Davis solidifies himself as the GOAT. He
again.
won the head-to-head. He won the internal battle
Yep.
that was between Reggie and Mike. Mike got the upper hand in that as well. I give Mike all the credit in the world. Mike is the GOAT. I got the shirt. I wish I was wearing it right now with the Mike Davis silhouette. But um, yeah, man, I just want to give love to everybody. There was good performances on both sides, so I'm just trying to be
Can I just take a
diplomatic here.
second here? Speaking of giving love to people, I don't think you guys get enough love in this league. I think a lot of people know Joey's the commissioner, but the Connecticut League doesn't happen without you guys. I just want to, well,
Oh,
I mean,
thanks,
it's
Chris.
true though. I mean,
Thanks, King.
without you guys showing up every week, there wouldn't be a Connecticut League because I'm not sure
None.
who would be down there every week on the league. So I just think you guys probably. I mean, I don't think you guys hear it enough. You know what I mean? Like
We
No, yeah,
appreciate that.
appreciate that. Seriously, Chris,
I
you're a
brought your
king for
post
that.
game
And
show back.
we also couldn't do it without the players. Yeah, no, I mean, and we get Chris's takes. Everyone loves that. And just want to also give one more shout out to Jelly. Jelly won the MVP at 31 points, 8 rebounds. He was 6 of 11 from three. When he gets going, he's like maybe the most unstoppable player when he's on. It's unbelievable some of the shots he hits. It's not like Reg because they have such
hmm
different games, but like they both just hit incredible contested shots. So I just want to give Jelly a shout out for that MVP. And I mean, hey, Yaggaville, another ring, boys. I mean, anything else
This
you guys want
this
to get
game
off your
was just
chest? I
missing
mean,
me and Joey on the
Run
sideline like
TMC.
this. What are these guys doing?
Agreed. Agreed. It was weird. No, you and Joey. I will agree there. It's you miss little those like micro battles within the game. I miss that.
I think
But
I think
shout out Joey.
this was one of the most star powered finals we've ever seen. Think we had the
Oh yeah.
best player of all time in Mike. We have the best big man in Dave. We have probably one of the best, probably the second best player in Legacy history, Reggie, on the other side. We have Pratt, the biggest trash talker in the league. Eric Langston, who Greg was saying has put together a phenomenal resume, and he just
Yeah.
Eric Langston just three-peated. If nobody realizes that, so
Yeah.
Damn.
and he hit
And he
the
hit a game
game.
that game winning
He
shot.
hit the
He
game.
literally
He probably hit the best shot in Legacy League's history. Uh,
100%.
during the game, he was yelling at the Run TMC bench and the fans. He's like, y'all forget so quick who got you here.
he
You
Yeah.
forgot who won this for
He
you.
said I got you a ring,
Yeah,
Reggie.
he actually won two rings with Reggie. Two of Reggie's rings are with Eric. But what was I gonna say? I don't know. Like you said, whoever that woman that comes with Reggie, I remember her back in the Shocker Run TMC finals. She's always yelling something. She's probably yelling at me at the bench a couple times, and just back and forth. It's fun though with the fans. Or my mom used to be there yelling at us that
Yeah.
we don't rebound enough and having a heart attack about every time Connor missed a score. She'd be like, yo, what are you
Still
doing?
don't.
To the fans, I love when there's fans in the game. It makes it, especially, it brings it back to the old days where there were a lot of fans.
Agreed.
Remember, like the old Legacy seasons, the fans would be there, the other teams would be staying and watching the games. There'd be a lot of trash talk. Facebook, the Facebook and the
Yeah.
memories are popping up.
Yep.
All these 300 comment posts from back in the day. I'm sure that's probably why Joey doesn't really like me that much, but I'm sorry for that. But
Chris Rudzinski apologized. The world has officially ended.
they were all. I mean, if you
But
think about it back then,
seriously, Chris, that's a good point. I'll never forget Tyrone Coward. He used to shoot arrows at fans when he did
but yeah, I blocked him in a game too, and his glasses fell off. I remember that.
All right, well, this isn't the Chris Rudzinski history session because we could do a long pod on that. But we're gonna get into some All-Star games and something that Chris, once was almost in the 3-point contest. One of our friends, Jack, was, and it didn't go well. But Jack's a much better shooter than that. But we're gonna start with the dunk contest. We're gonna go over an All-Star Weekend preview. We got a whole buffet. We got the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, some green bean casserole. We got mac and cheese. What do you guys like? Some yams, maybe some cranberry sauce. I don't know. But let's get on to the dunk contest. We got some heavy hitters in this bad boy. I'm just gonna read it off. The defending champ Jake Morales is back from Lord's Army with his teammate Jaquan Bromell. Those are two heavy hitters off the bat. Then you got TJ Killings, who probably is the favorite in Vegas right now. I haven't checked the local DraftKings sportsbook, but hey, no free ads. Never mind. Let's just cut that. But Quan Jackson coming in next, who's he's a high flyer. It's going to be fun to see. EJ Linton, another one. Taisheem McCray coming in, who's been in this a bunch of times, and then rounding it out, someone who's in both contests actually this year and the All-Star game, and that's going to be Kyle Davis. So I'm going to go to you, Chris, and then Connor. Chris, who you got in the dunk contest?
I just want to go off of what you were saying. Kyle has won the dunk contest before, too. He won it when he was on Yaga.
Ooh, he is a defending champ, too. Good point.
Yeah, so he's won it before. I honestly don't think TJ is going to show up. I think we know why. But so going off of that,
No.
I think somebody that could win this and who's got a lot of bounce is Quan Jackson. I think that might be a very
Mm.
depending on obviously you got I think if you make it on first try you should get some extra points regardless. But I think Quan Jackson is probably the highest flyer out of all these players. I see he could do what he does in Legacy on 10 foot. I've seen it a bunch of times. But yeah, I think we'll keep it short. That's my pick, Quan Jackson.
I like it. I like it. Connor, who you got?
I talked a little bit about this guy last week when we were highlighting this competition, and I'm gonna stick with my guns here. And for me, it's Jaquan Bromell. Like I said, I kind of talked about it last week with at the end of his last playoff game, he had a crazy dunk that didn't count at the end of regulation. But for me, it's that wingspan, right? I know Chris knows better than anybody. We were all concerned about this kid's height, right? Was this guy really 6'4"? And I think what makes him look so much bigger than everybody else is just the fact that his arms are just ridiculously long. I think that gives you a big advantage in a dunk contest because you could be on the way down, and where most players are now out of range to finishing the dunk, Jaquan's arms are so long, he could still finish dunks. So he's got a lot more time in the air to work with and be a little bit more creative. So I'm going to go with Jaquan to win this thing. He's just got the complete package. He's a track star, I'm pretty sure. He was like a long jumper or something. He's just got a ridiculous athletic ability. So I'm going to go with Jaquan to win this thing. It's great. Like you said, you got just heavy hitters from start to finish. I mean, Taishi McCray might be the biggest underdog to win this thing if I had to put Vegas odds on it. And Taishi is one hell of a dunker who I think has been in the finals of a couple of these dunk competitions in his participation over the last few years. So, just stacked top to bottom, but I'm going to go with Bromell to win this thing.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna go with Jake Morales, the defending champ. I think he's gonna defend his crown. I think he's got something to prove. I think he's gonna come in creative. This is not a diss. Lord's Army lost a while ago, so he could be preparing. He's probably got something in the lab. So I got Jake Morales. He's just a high flyer. He can attack the rim like no other. He's had countless top plays, and I just think he's a sleeper. Who do you think will win a dunk contest out of us three?
Chris.
I appreciate that, guys. That was gonna be my answer too. But no, realistically, probably Connor because he's probably the only one that's in shape enough to probably dunk on the rim still.
Yeah, nice.
We're being
Connor
honest.
just gotta hit a little
We
Vince
lower it
Carter.
down to maybe like
Yeah.
7.5. Me and Greg have a chance.
Yeah, I'll win it with a two-handed
win
flush.
it with his white belt on.
Just get it in. And speaking of white belts, we got a big time matchup in the 3-point shootout, and one of the white belts is going to be Matt Fink, who's headlining this class, coming in from the Flint Tropics. We also have Dante Hodge coming in, the defending champion. Shout out Dante. He's going to be coming in with a vengeance after NLMB's lost. You got Reggie coming in. Reggie also coming in at this one. I mean, he's going to be another pissed off. There's a lot of guys that are going to be pissed off in this 3-point contest. Kyle Davis is our next participant. Connor's favorite, who I think he's picking, Christian Dessou. And then we got the guy I'm picking. I'm just giving it away right now. Randy Kahn coming in last. And I'm going to tell you why Randy's winning it. Because he don't miss. That's the Red Dragon. He's doing his thing. I see Randy. Every game he's hitting shots. He's not phased. And I think Randy might get our first ever perfect round. So I got Randy winning it. Chris, who you got?
I got a question first. Has Reggie ever won this competition?
Okay.
I know he's been in it a few times. I'm pretty sure Bazzuto's won.
Let's see.
Do you know what I say about Reggie when it comes to these competitions? Reggie's a tough shot maker, right? I feel like if you watch him play, he doesn't take like a lot of open threes, right? It's almost like uncomfortable for Reggie to take an open three. I think that's maybe why. If he hasn't won one, that's probably the biggest reason why I would say so. Like if only Reggie can do step back threes on every one of his shots, he would probably be the favorite to win this.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go with I think Kyle Davis is gonna win this contest. I think Kyle showed more down the stretch of this season that he was figuring out how to shoot on these rims. I know on 10-foot he's lights out. And I could see a guy like this, especially because he's probably pissed off that Get Money got bounced early this year. So I think he's going to come in and try to win at least one of these contests, and I could see him winning the 3-point contest.
That's a good one. And just take a look at the screen here, boys. Do you guys remember Jacob Miller from Flight Club? This kid was like the size of one of my middle schoolers, and this kid came in and I don't remember who was in that 3-point contest, but there were some heavy hitters, and
There
Flight Club
probably
wasn't a good
was.
team, and I'll just never forget. I will never. That was our intern year, Connor. I will never forget
And he
that.
got one.
And just so you guys can see right now, Kyle Davis is a former champ. Mike Bizzuto is a former champ. Eric Singleton won a dunk contest. Shout out Eric Singleton. And Dante Hodge, obviously our reigning champ. So I just thought that was kind of cool to see. I'll never forget. It's that you never know at All Star Weekend who's going to come in and show out. And this is a stacked lineup. I mean, EJ Linton in the dunk contest.
I hope
We
they
didn't
all
talk
show
about
up.
him. He's someone who could really do something
Tends
good.
to be the problem
Yeah,
with the
good
All-Star
point.
games
We need
sometimes is
everyone to
guys
show up.
don't always come.
That's a good segue to the game, and we'll never forget the infamous game where me and Connor had only 4 people on each side. I'm gonna
It
pick.
could have been
we got
more.
Team
There was a
Reggie
few
versus Team
All-Stars on the
Fink, and
sideline, or there are a few talented players that weren't allowed to play. I'm not even talking about myself, but
yeah,
I think that
yeah,
Let me
yeah.
make my pick, Greg.
Oh yeah, Connor.
Let me make my pick, even though you already gave away my pick. All right, that was cold of you because I didn't even tell
Spoiler.
y'all who I was picking, and Greg just read my mind. Apparently, shout out my boy Christian Disu. Put some respect on that man's name. He should be in the All Star game, but I'm glad he's showing up anyways for the 3-point contest. My man C, who they call him on NLMB. My fellow lefty. Not a lot of lefties in the league, but man, I didn't even realize he was a lefty till his last game. He was hitting like one-handed lefty floaters, and I talked to him after the game. I said, Christian, you're a lefty. For some reason, it just never caught my eye. He goes, yeah, I've always been a lefty. I'm like, I don't know how I missed that, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Christian, man. I think I watch him. He shows up before everybody when it comes to game nights. He's there like 30, 40 minutes before the game. The second the court is open, he's out there putting up shot after shot after shot. He gets probably so many reps before the game, more than anybody in the league. And I have a feeling with the 3-point contest, he'll be there early, preparing, have the headphones in, locked in. But yeah, this is going to be a great contest. And by the way, Randy Kahn, you call him the Red Dragon. What an unbelievable nickname. Arguably the best nickname in Legacy League's history. But yeah, this competition is stacked. You got the Flint boys, you got Mike and Matt. You obviously got Dante Hodge, defending champion. Reggie Stewart, like we said with Reggie, if he can just do step back, side step threes the entire time, he probably would be one of the most lethal contenders in this competition. He already is, anyways. But yeah, I'm gonna rock with my boy C on this one.
Yeah, it's a good pick. He's filthy. He's absolutely filthy. Shout out NLMB too. I mean, what a season they had. And I'm glad they got 2 people in this contest because I'm glad they're getting All Star Week representation. They're such a fan favorite team, especially on this post game show. So I love that pick. All right, now we're going to the game. This is the battle. This is the thing that everyone comes to see. Team Fink versus Team Reggie. I'm going Team Fink. Got to ride with my Flint boys. I think they're going to get a redemption win here. I'm going to kick it over to Chris. Chris, Reggie, and Matt Fink, your 2 favorite Legacy League players.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the roster. Let
Going?
Connor go first.
Connor, who you going?
Yeah, I'll kind of quickly highlight the rosters on Fink's team. You got Matt, obviously team captain, with Dante Hodge, John Gold, Mike Bizzuto, Kyle Davis, Rico Santiago. Shout out my sweet goat. EJ Linton, Quan Jackson, obviously taking on Reggie and his team with Mike Davis, Jaquan Bromell, TJ Killings, Andrew Murray, Tyshee McCray, Jamar Petty, and Eric Singleton. I think I pretty much are. Greg, we have to make our picks. You put the pick on me in the middle of that All Star draft, which I hated you for. While Matt and Reggie are both staring at us through the phones, and I'm like, shit, you're gonna make me disrespect one of these guys. And I think I picked Matt's team, so I got to stick with that. Um, I got to rock with my boy Rico, dude. I always show Rico mad love. I'm gonna ride with him.
Yeah.
I had to face him in an All Star draft one year when you picked him, Greg, and ended up being one of your best picks. It was a sneaky, underrated pick. Uh, but yeah, I love this team, man. Kyle Davis, another guy who I've always rocked with. And obviously I got Matt and Mike. So I think that would be the team that I would stick with. I got, Quan Jackson and EJ down there. Got some crazy dunkers. So I really like this team. Reggie's team is obviously stacked too. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either one of these options. And what this always comes down to, like we already mentioned, is who shows up, right? So whoever's got more bodies available is probably going to be the team that wins. But I'll rock with Matt because I think, like I said in the draft that night, Greg, Matt can pretty much make sure that Mike and Quan both show up. So there you go. You got three studs right off the rip who are probably going to be in attendance. And I know Dante and Kyle are both in some competitions, and so is EJ. So right there, I should pretty much have most of my team together. I think Rico is a good lock to show up, and John Gold, I would imagine, he's been there every week for the FD Ballers. So I think that this team has a good chance of having everyone show up, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna go with Team Fink.
Yeah, no, that's actually good logic there. I like that.
Are you guys doing
Chris,
it
who you
again?
got?
Guys betting against the Mike
What?
Davis
Picking
team?
against Mike Davis.
Oh, yeah. I
So you're
guess
gonna
we
bet
are. Sorry,
against
Mike.
Mike Davis and Reggie on the same team?
Yeah, that's crazy work.
But I think obviously what you said is it's gonna come down to who shows up. So I don't think the Flint boys are gonna show up because I think they're a little mad about the. No, they probably will.
Damn.
But um, I think I
If
think
they don't, that's their whole half their team.
obviously I mean you guys picked Team Fink, so obviously I got to go with Team Reggie. Um, so I can't go 3 for 3 with you guys. So I'd rather two of us be wrong instead of all three. So I'm gonna go with Mike and Reggie, the 2,000 point scorers, to pull this one out, and maybe Mike's last hurrah in Legacy Leagues will be this game. So sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. See Mike maybe hit a game
See
winning
it?
shot. You know, the classic
Didn't he
Mike
do that in the
Davis
All Star game one
Mike
time?
Davis stuff.
Didn't he hit the game winning shot? I think Mike
Reggie
did
did
too.
one time.
Yeah.
For me, Mike.
I,
I
I
believe
think
it.
it was this. I
Whatever
think
Mike
it was
Davis did.
that season with the Blue Devils. He hit the game winning shot. He hit the tying shot to go to overtime, and I think hit the game winning shot in overtime in the All Star game.
Man,
with the new format, I like how Joey does it now.
yeah.
Yeah.
If see if he, I think we'll
Someone has
continue to
to.
probably do it this year, right? Where he sets a score
Oh,
in the fourth quarter, and it's
the
the
Elon
first team to
ending.
reach that number. So yeah, exactly. So no matter what,
That's
someone has to hit
true,
a game
but it's
winner,
not.
right?
That's not the same.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah, but I do like the way that typically shakes out. I think with the last time me and Greg went head to head, I think it was like a tie game, right, Greg? Or it was like a
Yeah,
one possession
it was
game, and it was
close.
like
Yeah,
next basket wins, and you had the ball, and my team never got a chance to
yeah,
rebuttal. So it could create for some really fun endings, but
Greg
yeah,
had
we'll
a
see
good
how that shakes
assistant
out.
coach. One of
yeah.
those
He did
years.
have that.
Yeah,
I did. I
yeah,
did.
you were over there rooting against me, bro. That was crazy.
But I
Chris was
Typical.
talking shit across the
honestly
bench
I
to me. I
hope.
remember that.
Typical.
Well, because didn't Pratt like tell you, don't if you take me out of the game, I'm going home like first play.
Yeah, Pratt said, if you take me out, I'm going home. I said, don't worry, I'm not taking you
But
out.
but I hope everybody shows up because this will be a pretty good game if we get everybody. I I would say everybody but TJ will probably show up. That's just my I don't
Yeah.
because he's gonna have to pay the
let's
twenty
let's
dollar. He got two checks, so I have to pay. He owes Joey like $100. I feel like. So I don't know if Joey's gonna get that.
but let's talk Finals MVP real quick
Or
now
All
while we're
Star
at
Game
it.
MVP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or All
You
Star
tried,
All-Star
Connor. I
MVP.
MVP. I like
appreciate
it.
Yeah,
that.
I'm
I
gonna
did.
I'm
I
gonna
fumbled.
go All-Star MVP, Kyle
Good
Davis.
one.
He's about to ball out, hit like 63s. I'm going KD.
I'm gonna go with Matt Fink.
Mm,
I'm gonna,
I can see that.
I'm gonna go with
That's a
Mike
safe pick.
Davis, his last Legacy League accolade in his last game.
Mm, okay. Rico's a sleeper. Rico tends to go off in a game like this.
I
And
agree.
Greg, while we're at it, we didn't get to talk about it, but I'll give you your flowers real quick. Greg, before the game started, the finals, he came up to
Ooh,
me and he
true.
said, I'm picking Jelly Finals MVP. I said, okay, Greg. I did that a few years ago. I picked Kyle Davis when he won
Yeah.
it with Chris, and I picked KD to win the Finals MVP. And got to give Greg his flowers. That
To
was a
be
great
fair,
call, Greg.
my Finals
Yeah. Shout
MVP
out Jelly,
pick
man.
probably would have won if he didn't freaking try to fight the ref.
Yeah, you picked
And
TJ.
that is what Legacy Leagues basketball is, baby. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to Jelly, man. Once again, like Connor said, Jelly was filthy out there. And he just was such a difference maker for
Great
Yaggaville in
player.
their win. And want to give a shout out to Yaggaville, not Yaga, Yaggaville, Run TMC, all the teams this year that fought. It was a great year. I mean,
FD ballers.
there's really not much. I mean, Chris, Connor, one last message. Shout out to FD Ballers. You want one last message to sum this season up, Chris?
I want to. I want to end the show.
Connor. All right, Connor.
Yeah, I'm sick of staring at Chris over there talking shit. So let's get us out
That
of here.
is a perfect way to end this show for
I got
me,
one
Greg
thing to say
Horne,
though.
who should have been used more by Coach Rudzinski. What? Oh no!
Shots for pour some out for the TMC loss. We're gonna take a shot. Eddie Greg, we got tequila, Chris. I just want to say,
like tequila.
I'm the only one in the whole season that called the champion. All you guys were riding Flint.
You did.
You can say what you want. You could call it Mickey, but if they won the same way the Celtics won, people weren't showing up to the games.
Get me out of here. Wrap this up, Greg. Get me out of here.
For me, Greg Horne, for Chris Rudzinski, the Mickey
Check
King,
rock,
and
baby.
Connor
Check
Sauer,
rock.
the GOAT. This was a great Legacy Leagues postgame show. We appreciate you all. We'll be back in the summer.